Hey guys, Sean Hammond with PremierGuitar.com. We are at Winter NAMM 2016 in Anaheim, California, talking to John Page from John Page Classic Guitars. For those of you who have been playing a long time and have been really into Strat style guitars like this, you may know John Page's name from his time as head of R&D and the custom shop at Fender. And now, well, you've been building guitars on your own for a while now, but you have fairly new thing with John Page Classic. Do you want to kind of go over what John Page Classic is in a nutshell, and then we'll talk about the guitar Adam is playing for us?
Sounds great. The John Page Custom is something I started about 10 years ago, which was my hand-built guitars, kind of like I did at Custom Shop. And it was something we could only reach, a very elite kind of level of customer, and also very low quantity, 12 to 15 units a year. So the idea of the Classic line was to be able to take a lot of the custom features that I've, developed over the years, both in my time in research and development and custom shop and my own custom shop, and do it in a production line guitar, so a lot more players would have access to it. And so my friend Howard Swimmer, who approached me a couple years ago, said, hey, I'd like to try this project, what do you think? And Howard had a great started a Premier Builders Guild, and that was a great thing, and so this is kind of the evolution of that, and the evolution of my career building custom guitars. And so that's where the Classics came from.
So basically, you still build custom stuff on the level of what you did with Fender. Like this stuff back here, this is one-off stuff that's high-end. But this stuff here is the quality level, but at a much more affordable price point. It's built in Japan, right?
Absolutely. In fact, what's cool about the quality of these guitars is amazing. So they not only have a lot of my custom features, but they're built by one of the best factories in Japan, one that I had a lot of experience with, almost 3 decades with. And one of my best friends in the world who was head of engineering at a factory we were using when I was with Fender, and when I was head of R&D at Fender, and so we've done this kind of thing for a long time. So we kind of speak each other's language, as far as the engineering is concerned, the design, and the manufacturing quality. So the guitars are impeccable quality, and then they have all these little nuance kind of things that I do on mine. So yeah, I still build these, but I can build 12 a year. These, we can build some nice production quantities and have a really accessible product.
Cool. So you have 2 pretty new models. The humbucker one here we'll talk about in a minute, but the brand new one you just unveiled at this show is this one. What's this called?
This one's called the AJ, and I name all my guitars after like loved ones, because it's an intimate thing to me, not only to me as a person, but to me, a player has an intimate relationship with their guitars. So the AJ is named after my son, Adam John. The Ashburns are named after my daughter, Ashley Burner. So this is the AJ. It's obviously my take on a tele-style guitar. It is a single cutaway. It's got my, if I may, it's got the same kind of oversized mechanical bolt system that I do on all my customs. So it's a machine bolt going into metal inserts on the neck, which gives you a better not only mechanical coupling but tone coupling neck to body. I off-cut the heel, of course, just to give a better contour to the upper register frets. Same reason the horn is actually slanted out more, so you're not trying to hit that 22nd fret and like bumping your hand into a horn all the time. My necks on all the models are a medium C shape. It needs that beef, it needs that mass to tie in properly tonally to the body. I also do a slightly wider nut than people are used to, and a 12-inch radius fretboard. So
what's the nut width?
The nut width is 1/680, as opposed to like a standard T-style would be 1/650. So it's just slightly wider, gives you a little more room on there. It's a medium jumbo fret. I do my bass justified side dots on everything. I think it gives a better visual access when you're playing it. Plus, I like the way it looks. It's just kind of little off center. I like everything I do to have people go, what the hell is that? I do this thing called, my design mantra for 30, 40 years has been uniquely familiar. So the lines are kind of familiar, but they're different, and you look at it, I haven't seen it. I kind of have. And it's the same with the tone. I try to do the same thing. Take tones that people are looking for, but then sculpt them in a way that are different, that I like. So like for instance on the AJ, I love the sound of a P90 with a tele bridge pickup. but the P90 to me is normally a little too muddy. So we wound these such and changed the gauge of wire such to where it's slightly underwound, so there's much more clarity to it than you would, that you wouldn't expect from a P90. That helps balance with the Telly style bridge pickup, which is pretty just a classic wind, you know, nothing.
Is there like a brass plate on it or steel plate?
It's a steel plate on there. Definitely got the metal plate, but it's not overly hot, it's not overly quiet. It's just a nice, moderate, classic Telly.
Compensated saddles, right?
Yep, and reverse angle on that pickup. So that kind of gives you a little more richness on the high strings, tightens up the bottom strings. Some players will like that, some may not. But I always was a Telly player, and I hated ice pick highs. This gets rid of that, and it sweetens that up a little bit, tightens up the bottom. Yes, compensated saddles, master volume, master tone, all backloaded. I thought that just classied up, you know, kind of made it a little classier.
Typical three-way?
Yeah, typical three-way, but a Gibson-style three-way, or, you know, a toggle as opposed to a lever. It's a really fun guitar.
Cool. Why don't we have Adam play a few different pickup selections on that? Very nice, Adam. Okay, let's pivot to the humbucker model. What's this one called again?
This one is the Ashburn, but the Ashburn HH, double humbucker Ashburn. Two humbucking, I voiced the humbuckers to basically be a classic PAF style, but again, I wanted more clarity than is normally associated with a PAF. I love the metal cover, so that lots of times takes a lot of the highs out, right? So experimenting with different wind patterns and gauges, we got a real nice clarity out of this. Really nice balance between the two pickups. I call it kind of an adult humbucker, you know? So it's got this like really, you know, cats that get it go, oh yeah, really nice blend. I hear that extra.
It was a little more single coil like?
I wouldn't say single coil like.
Just in the high end content?
But it just gives you a little more clarity on that top end, but not single coil like in the sense that it is a big pickup. It's still a nice big sounding pickup, but not overly, you know, not overwound by all, just slightly underwound actually. Master volume, master tone, standard 3-position. I really like to keep things simple on my design, so just a 3-position switch, no
coil, okay.
No coil splitting. The tone control is so sensitive that with just a little bit of movement in the tone control, you can get so many different voices out of here that to me it just didn't make sense. And then what's different from on our original Ashburn that we did, we actually used more of a vintage style, you know, tremolo, 6-point. On this one, I went with a 2-point. All the classics have staggered gears, okay, so at the nut, so there's no need for a string tree. But in this case, they're staggered vintage style locking gears. So with the locking gears and the 2-point tremolo, you're able to get a little wackier with your, you know, your whammy bar and have a little more aggressive style of play and not worry about it going out of tune. And cool. Without that string tree, that really helps because you have reduced friction here at the nut.
Nice. All right, John, so why don't we have you tell people the prices on these and then where they can go find out more information, and we'll have Adam play us out.
Perfect. All the models are right around just under $1,500. So there's that. You want more information and actual pricing is on johnpageclassic.com.
Sweet. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'm Sean Hammond for PremierGuitar.com, and take a listen to Adam.